Welcome to the Church Communications Podcast. We want to help you become a church communications expert. We understand it's a challenging and ever-changing role because we worked in the church too, which is why we built a community of over 30,000 church leaders that are ready to support and cheer you on. Your hosts for the show are Katie Allred, Kenny Jahng, with special guest host from the Church Communications team. They're here to help you and equip you to better reach your community. We'll talk shop with practitioners, professionals, and communications experts about what's working, what's not, and what's next.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Church Communications Podcast. My name is Abby, and I am the Director of Events and Membership over here. And I'm so excited to be on the podcast today with my good friend, Julie, who a lot of you guys probably remember from some past episodes. Julie, how are you today?
I am doing really well. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really excited to have you back on. We had you on the podcast for several episodes. We've talked about a lot of stuff. I'm like trying to even remember what we talked about. We've gone through like meal delivery service outreach. We've talked about some different community outreach. We talked about a prayer initiative and how to plan one of those. What else? I mean, we've talked about so many different topics.
Yeah, definitely. The 24-hour prayers is a big one for us, or the ongoing ones. People really seem to like our software for that, which is great. It's super easy to make it. Today we're going to talk a little bit about just group outings, which is great. We talked about a Bible trivia night, which is a fun thing to plan and super easy to plan with our software. And we've got some good resources on our website for where to get the information, the questions. So yeah, we've talked about all kinds of different things. Also volunteers for your services.
Yes.
Kind of depending on what size your church is, but we've got lots of folks using us for usher sign up or hospitality sign up on Sundays. All of that good stuff as well, just organizing your volunteers to know who's doing what and have auto reminders. So
yeah, we have covered a lot of ground. And so if you are listening to this episode and you haven't heard all of those, scroll back down and check some of them out. Because Julie has like so many good tips on basically planning any kind of church event or outreach you could think of, but like making it way easier on yourself. So whether you're like a comms director, event director, if you're just like organizing the volunteers for something, go back and check those out, because whatever situation you're in, we probably have covered it in one of the episodes. So anyway, tell us, Julie, a little bit about you've alluded to the software you've talked about, you mentioned it a second ago. What software is it? How does it work? What do you do? Just give us,
Yeah, sure. So it's called Plan Hero, and it is a responsive web app. So there's no native mobile app that you need to download. It'll just be responsive to the browser you're using. And it's basically for group organizing. So it's a way to get signups really easily for anything that you're doing, for all those things that we just suggested. We have no ads, which makes us very different than our competitors out there. And for churches in particular, faith organizations, we've had really good feedback that that's really important to them, so that because of course you can't control those ads that are showing up alongside your sign up. So if someone's been researching maybe something controversial or a little bit sketchy, and maybe for good reasons, those there could be some really interesting ads showing up on your signups coming out from your church, and your typical user isn't going to know that you don't have anything to do with that. So,
yes, they will hold you responsible because they don't know.
We've had some really interesting conversations with some comms people on that. And it's really funny. It's that funny, not funny thing. So,
right.
Yeah, exactly. So no ads, automatic reminders, and you can choose to let people see who else is attending, which is also fun, just for generating some of that FOMO, any of the events that you're creating. Oh yeah, everybody's going, I want to go, I don't want to miss out on this. So that's kind of fun. So
yeah, like you said, we're going to be talking about how to use the software for group outings today. And church group outings at least in my experience, are sometimes a little bit trickier to plan. It usually involves a lot of different people, or it's like it often involves kids. And anytime you're taking
Yeah.
kids and moving them off site, like that's always like you just have to make sure all your ducks are in a row and everybody
Right.
knows where everyone is and where everyone's going, who's driving, and all of that good stuff. So it's a lot to coordinate.
Yeah.
So when you're using a sign up tool for group outings, like what would be the point in using it? Why go the route of using the Plan Hero sign up tool as opposed to, just having people write their names down like on a piece of paper in the church foyer the day before you go?
Yeah, I mean, you could certainly do that. There are a couple of issues there. I mean, number one, if it's the day before you go, it's you got to have everybody in your foyer that day before you go.
True.
Number two, I think the key thing is it's really nice for the church to know who's participating in things and kind of build on that and get a head of steam with that. In addition, we send out automatic reminders. We hook into Google Maps. So for a lot of these outings, you can have the address on there. So if you're doing, ice skating during the month of August while everyone's baking in the US right now, it's actually a pretty good idea. Just pick a night and work with the local ice skating place. Sounds pretty darn good to me right now. And I'm a horrible ice skater. Yeah, I'm the one who like white knuckles on the rail
on the side of the wall.
Oh,
yeah,
totally. And my husband is really good, so it's so pathetic, but it's fun. So anyway, you could have like for the month, Fridays from 5 to 6 or something for the month of August as a sign up. It's one link, and you shoot that out. You have it on your website, or you shoot it out in one of your email newsletters, or send it out via group text, or put it on your group page. Any of that, those signups can just sit there and people can sign up. You could also have them pay for it. You can use our collect money lists, and so it could just be whatever it is, $8 or $10 a person, and then it's all prepaid for, so the church can just go in and pay for it, and it's done, and who's coming. So, and even then, you made a good point, who's driving. You could actually have a sign up another list, because we allow you to do all these just different kinds of lists super easily. I'm glad for the people who are listening, they don't have to see my hand gesticulations. But
yeah, come on to the YouTube channel if you want to watch all of Julie's talking with her.
I don't know, I think I missed my calling. But you can do the signups for drivers too. Hey, we need drivers. We need 5 drivers or something. So you can, limit that amount to 5, and then have people sign up to be drivers too. So, so why not just have the sign up in the foyer? It's you automatically then can download the CSV file, so that you know who is there. Maybe to reach out to them in the future, or even maybe, hey, next time could you be in charge because you came to the one before, right?
Right.
And the other thing actually that would make a difference is if you wanted to have friends come along who maybe knew how to skate, but maybe were not members of your church yet and are not dying to maybe sign up to have an account on your CHMS yet, right?
Right.
So I know there's a lot of great software out there with the CHMSs, but you have to create an account. And I don't know, if I'm kind of sussing out a church and seeing if that's where I want to be, or sort of new to all of faith in general, I don't necessarily want to make that commitment. I might want to go ice skating with you guys and see what you're all about, but I don't want to create an account. So with us, you don't have to create an account. If you do create an account, that's fine, it's free, but you don't have to do that. That said, the church still gets your email address and your name, and that can be downloaded in a CSV file or a PDF. So you still get the information as a church, but it's a little more non-threatening, I think.
Yeah. That's what I was
eliminates the barrier for kind of,
Right. That's where my brain went, was like, if you have this link that's not necessarily like, it's not even on your it's not a church website link, right? Like it's like an
Right.
external thing. You
Yeah.
can just get this link and you can share it with people. Or I'm even thinking like maybe you're in some other kind of online community that's like not faith affiliated, but you can drop this in there and be like, hey,
Yeah.
like me and all my friends, we're all going ice skating. Like you're welcome to join us. And
Right.
like you
Join
said,
us.
oftentimes that's like the in for people who might not be willing to come sit in on a Sunday service. Maybe
Exactly.
their first step is they'll come ice skating with us, and then you're like,
Yeah.
hey,
Let
maybe
me
come
see
with
what
us
these
on
guys are
Sunday.
like. Yeah,
Exactly. Like
exactly.
they already know you. They know they have someone to sit with, which for a lot of
Right.
people is like one of the most intimidating things I think about
Right.
coming to a church they've never been to.
Right.
But it kind of gets their feet wet. And like you said, not having to create an account and be like, okay, I'm signing my life away to this church all of a sudden. Like,
Right. They're
I
going to be
don't
all
want to do
over
that.
me. Yeah. 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 Exactly. So I think that's a really kind of nice aspect, is sort of that non-threatening way to do it. So a lot of the good ideas that I've seen have come through this particular executive pastor who is just all in for whatever small outing, even if it's not, it's attended by, single digit people. He's just like, throw it out there, give lots of options for people to participate and be together. He said, I love movies, so we'll set up Sunday, go to the theater, movies, and who does that anymore? It's kind of fun to still do it and get the fat popcorn. So he'll toss that out there, and then the same thing, you can see who else is going, and it's fun, and it's just easy. Hey, 3:00 we're going to Top Gun, right, on Sunday after church or something like that. It's just another fun way to get together. Brews with the bros. Again, depending on what type of church you have and the culture of your church, but go out and have a beer with some of the guys, or wine with the gals or something like that, where it's just something easy and you can kind of talk together, but you've got that sense of community. You can see who else is going. And then you can kind of pick up on that as a church and see, okay, what's resonating with people, what's not. So, bowling, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do, obviously.
Well, and it's nice too, because it sort of eliminates, like, it's things people are already doing, right? So it
Right.
eliminates you from having to actually plan, like, because if you're planning an internal church event, you're having to figure out what's the food like, who are the volunteer teams, like what are all the things that need to be done. All that's
Right.
required of you here is to be like, hey, what are activities that people already like to do? Let's see if we can like pull them together to do it. And then that sort of like natural community group just emerges. And so maybe then that movie group turns into a small group, and they're going to movies together weekly on Sundays, but they're also having Bible study on Wednesday nights at church or
Exactly.
something, right? It's like more of an organic, integrated kind of approach where it's just people are already doing life together and enjoying each other in
Right.
regular settings. And that just sort of gets pulled back in, and that continues within the church, right?
Exactly. And they all have that thread of, they like the movies, or going to the movies or whatever. And I mean, think about hiking. That's another one. To your point, there's no organization there. There's no like calling ahead, is the ice skating rink available or whatever, can you handle 50 of us or whatever. You just show up to wherever the hike is. And, again, maybe you put an extra sign up on there that, I'd like to carpool or whatever. So then everyone can see, it's like, hey, oh, I know that Joe lives by me. I'll see if Joe wants a ride. And then you get to know each other on the way over or whatever. So, and all of that stuff can all be handled in minutes with the sign up and get it out there. So I just think it really eases the burden on so many people, but it helps to accelerate that engagement. So
yes, for sure. And I think it's a great way too, if maybe you are a smaller church or you're just starting to like form your community groups, you're trying to figure out, because there's a lot of different ways to structure community groups or small groups or life groups or whatever you have going on. So there's a lot of different things you can consider, and you can try to build it out, or you could kind of let it build itself out, right? Like maybe you set up 4 different activities and you just pool people together in things that they're interested in, rather than just like arbitrarily being like, okay, you 5 people and you 5 people and you 5 people, you're going to be leading 3 separate groups and go find something in common. Like you can let that commonality come out.
Yeah, more organically. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And do you want me to show you an example of one?
Yeah, certainly. If you are listening to this podcast, audio only, come over to our YouTube channel and she's going to do a little screen share and show us how it works. That way, if you are interested in planning something like this, you kind of have a little bit of a reference template, and it'll give you a little bit of an idea of how it all works.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me do a quick share here. Okay, can you see it? Okay.
Yep, looks great.
Okay, super. So I just did this draft a couple minutes before we started on ice skating. Again, it's hot where I am, so it's really hot on my mind. But you can see, and this is from the organizer's perspective. I just quickly whipped up 4 dates from 5 to 6 on Fridays, and then put it in here as 100 spots available and $8 a person, and so that it includes the skates, and I can grab people's phone numbers if I want to. Probably, again, if you're trying to encourage guests coming, you probably don't want to do that. Don't take too much information to get started. And then I can send out reminders and launch it, and then I just grab the link, and then I can put the link anywhere I want it. But you can see it's really clean, easy to view, and it would look more like this on mobile. And sorry, whoops. You could just pick a different date that you want to sign up for, and away you go. So, and then everybody who signs up, their name is listed there, and that's where you kind of get that FOMO aspect. So
yes,
it's,
I love that.
yeah, and I literally set this up in minutes. It's really clean. There's nothing, no flashing ads or videos or something to irritate you or distract you. It's kind of like, we want you to succeed with what you're doing. We want you to finish it. We want you to get it out there. We want people to sign up, and you guys have a great time. That's our whole thing.
And I love that all of the information is right there, because I have seen sign up tools before. I mean, just like when I'm at church, I've signed up for things and I'm like, what did I just sign up for? I don't know where it is. I don't know when it is. I don't know who all, like you said, who all is going to be there. And so it's like, I saw the slide on the screen at church and I signed up for it because I wanted to go. But by the time it actually gets here, I'm not going to remember the date. They didn't tell me where it was. I'm going to either have to hunt that information down or just hope and pray that they send me a reminder, which often they don't. But with you guys, I saw the send reminder, you can send more than one even, right?
Send 2, and it's 1 to 5 days before and 1 to 5 hours before. Here come the hand motions again. I probably put up the wrong numbers, 1 to 5 more. Yeah, so that's super simple to do. And when the person signs up, they can elect to receive those via text as well, so that they're getting them via email and via text for the reminders. And then we send you a confirmation as soon as you sign up. So that's why we want your email address, so that we can do that. And then you can also sync it to your calendar after you sign up. So
yeah, I love
it's
that.
pretty hard to not show up.
That's on you.
Don't really it's on you, and don't tell us your dog ate the paper, because
that's right.
So,
all online.
Yeah. So I think the real message here is it's easy to make these small get-togethers frequent and fun. And you can even add a co-organizer, so that like if you are in charge of, you're more on the administrative side or the comm side, you could say, okay, I'm going to set the co-organizer as Abby, and Abby, you run with this. So you've got full scope on that sign up, and you can send interim messages, 4 days ahead. Hey, can't wait to see you. I've been stretching because I'm super cool ice skater lady. Or we've been watching Olympic videos. I don't know.
I love that. And it's so nice too, because if you sometimes stuff like this does happen just at churches where people start congregating, and you look around and you're like, you're at an event, you're at the movie, and you're like, these are all the people that I just go to church with. You can take something like that that's already happening, create a sign up for it to bring in more people, right? And you
exactly
organize something that's already existing. So maybe you have this going on at your church already, you're already doing this, but you want to include your friends. You want to be able to easily invite your community, or maybe, you want to even put up flyers with the link to invite people to join you. Be like, hey, this is happening. come with
just
us. You
take
can just,
QR code and have them zap it there or whatever.
exactly.
That's easy to do. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we encourage folks to do it.
Love that. It's a super simple process. I have poked all around in there. I've made my own forms. I've played with it, and it seriously is so simple and easy to use. And I also love, like you said, that it's not within the CHMS. You don't have to have an account. But is there anything else that we should highlight or let people know about Plan Hero, other than the fact that they can sign up for a discount? If they're a Church Comms podcast listener, we have a promo code for you.
Yes, Church Comms 15, Church COMMS 15. And because I made a mistake at some point, I think it also works with Church Com COMM 15, all lowercase. It is case sensitive, but that will give you 15% off of our annual subscription. And our annual subscription is only $90. So that puts you down to, oh gosh, what is it? $76.50 or something like that. So you divide that out over the year, it's about $6 a month at that point, which is like getting a venti frappuccino right now. Again, it's hot where I am. Yeah, so it's pretty low barrier to entry with regard to cost, and again, no ads ever. So it's not like after you do 2 events, you start getting spackle on your templates. So
gotcha.
yeah,
Well,
thank
awesome.
you. No, I think we hit it all. It's just yeah. Thank you.
Good. Well, thank you so much, Julie, for not only telling us about it, but showing it to us. Like I mentioned, if you're listening to this podcast and you're interested and you want to see what it actually looks like, you want to look at the interface and watch Julie navigate through how it is set up, go over to the YouTube channel. It will be available there as well. And we will be sure to put the link and the promo code in the show notes.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. And we're at planhero.com. I should mention that. And if you just hit contact and say, hey, I want someone to give me an overview, we will definitely hop on that too. So we're happy to hop on a Zoom, tell you what we can do, tell you what maybe we can't do, but we can do most things. So we're happy to support you in any way we can.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Julie. And we can't wait to hear from you again next time.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Church Communications Podcast. If you want to learn more, join over 30,000 church leaders in our Facebook group at churchcommunications.com/group. If you liked today's episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. It's the most impactful way you can help us reach more church leaders and equip them to better communicate for the church. Finally, don't forget to check out our website at churchcommunications.com. Thanks for listening.